The new feature of the property management gives you the ability of being able to create sites in the web. So when you create the job, you have the ability of creating the site, attaching it to the specific property management company that should receive the receivable invoice. To start with, for anyone that is using the desktop, I guess that's if I show my screen, right? There's a little bit of setup that's required. First, if you're syncing with the desktop, the first thing you need to do is from Relationship Management on the main menu, Customer Lookup, pick on any customer, really doesn't matter. And the first thing we want to do is create a new job or a customer type called Site or Site Manager. This information will then sync to the web. Once the information is available to you in the web, you're going to do the setup in the web as well. To complete the setup, you will go to Settings, Company Settings, Relationships, and here you'll see that there is a property type, and this is where you will select the site manager or site that you've just created in the desktop. If you are using web only or web to QuickBooks, under your relationships, you will make sure you add a customer type of site and then make sure you select it here as well. Once the setup is all done, make sure you hit save. And now we start creating sites. To create a new site, you're going to come into the web, you're going to go to Relationships and Companies. We're going to select Create, and we're going to put in our new site addresses. So this is going to be for the site specific. So we'll put in new site 1. Under the type, you always need customer as a minimum, and then we're going to select site. In this case, it's Site Manager. We can add contact information that is going to be specific to the site. So we'll put in the email address as being the site's email, and then populating the site address. Once you're happy, we can come to the top left side of the screen and we can select Save or Save and Edit. In this example, I'm going to select Save and Edit, which means it's going to save my site property customer profile that it just created, and as well, open it up so we can get more information.
So, Patty?
Yep.
Quick question. So on the parent, should we relate that site back to the original property management company? Let's say, for example, DE Property Management does it.
That's what we're going to do on the related relationships.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. So you'll notice here on your customer profile, there is a new tab, and it's called Related Relationships. So when I select that, this is where I'm going to associate back to the specific property management company that is responsible for this site. I'll also have my options here, so I can do the office, and I can do it as a referral if I wanted to. Can also select or add the specific contact to the property management that you need to call in regards to receivables or questions about the job. So when I select the contact, here is where I can put in the specific person that I need to speak with at the property management company. Now if we move to the Contact tab, the Contact tab is going to be site specific. So this is where you can include, as an example, the building maintenance person, the owner of the building if you needed to, and so forth. So again, I'm going to select Create, put in their first and last name. I can add in information. Sorry, my screen is. And again, their address is going to be site specific. You'll also notice there's a new feature here on the Contact tab where it says Transfer to Job. So if I always want this specific person to be a contact on the Relationship tab of the job, I can just select this Transfer to Job, and every time I create the job, this contact is automatically going to flow for you. You also have the ability of creating notes that are specific to the site. So maybe there's specific information that you want to be able to track. And you also have the ability of making attachments or including attachments. So maybe there's a specific property management contract that needs to be available for each site. So this is where you could track that information so you always have it available to you. Once your site has been created, we're going to select Save. So now when we look, we'll have our site as well as our property management. To create a new job using the site, we're going to go to Tools, or onto the toolbar. We're going to go to Jobs and Jobs again. We're going to select or create. And now that we've got our property management option selected, you'll notice that the creation of the job screen looks a little bit different. This gives us the ability of searching by customer or by site. So if I start typing in new site, I can fill the information in from that profile, which is going to copy in all of the address information. So this becomes your lost site address. I pick my job type, as always, job subtype, location, building type. If there's a referral source, you can certainly select it. And you'll notice some of the contact information has already populated because we have filled in the information from our site address. If you're happy, we can top of the screen and we can save and then save and edit, which is going to allow us to open our job specific. Or why the property management company didn't populate here. It could be that I didn't have it as parent, so that might be a change. So I'll double check on that for you. But now you'll have the ability of seeing that your job is the site address with populating the customer specific. If you needed to look at the customer information specifically, you can select the button to the right of the label, and that'll take you directly to the customer's profile. The site address is available to you here. If you needed directions to that address, your employees can select the little roads to the right of the label of address, and that'll give you directions directly to the site specific. When I go to the Relationship tab and I select Companies, our property management company automatically populated for us because we have it related to the site specific on the Related Relationships tab of the site profile. When I go to Contacts, our Jane Doe is there. And we have the ability of adding or creating any new information as needed. The one question is this something that's going to be released? This feature is already available to you in PSA Web, so it's just a matter of completing the setup. So for the desktop users, under your customer profiles, beside your type, you're going to create a new option called Site or Site Manager. Once that information syncs to the web, You're then going to make the setup in the web. I'll just save this job. Settings on your company settings. Scroll down to relationships. You want to make sure under the property type, you select the site or site management, whatever label that you've added, that you're going to associate with each of your sites. Once that setup is done, then the most important part is to make sure that each of your profiles for your companies, for your sites, have been set up correctly. To do that, you're going to go to Relationships, Company, Create New, or Create. The type, very bare minimum, has to be considered a customer. And we're also going to add in our new label that we've just created that we're going to use for our sites. The parent will be your property management company. Nope. Add in extra information if you needed to. Put in this address of the site specific. Once you've got the general information in, you're going to come to Save and Save and Edit. Next question is, can you please advise what is the newest option that is showing for business development types that is now showing in the company? I will need to get back to you, Barb, as I do not know what that new feature is about currently, so I will get back to you and email you in regards to that feature. With continuing with creating our new site, once you've saved and edited the site, it now opens, and we're going to go to the Related Relationships tab. And this is where we can assign both the property management company that's responsible for the maintenance on the site, plus owners of the building itself. So here we would select our property management company. And we can also select the specific person that's involved at the property management company. On the Contact tab, this is where I associate the building maintenance manager or maybe the accounts payable person or the specific persons at the specific site that you want to be able to track. So if I select Create, put in their name, contact information, and then the address would be the site again itself. So pick the specific site. And once I'm also going to add the ability of being able to transfer this information to the job specific. So I'm going to select Transfer to Job and then Save and Save again. So now when I create my job using this new site, that information will then flow for you specifically to the job, onto the Related tab of the job. I go to Jobs, Jobs again, select Create, put in my site. I can fill for my customer, put in all my information that I already have against my customer profile site. I make sure that I select the correct job type, subtype, location, building type, referral information if needed. The contact information will have popped if I had put it on to the contact at the site itself. Now when I go to Job to save this, I go to Save and then Save and Edit. My job is here. property management company. Then when I go to the relationship tab of the job, go to companies, my property management company is available to me, as well as the contacts that I've associated with not only the property management company, but the site itself. Once I've populated my job and have all the newest of the information, just need to make sure that I select Save. The next question is, can we use this feature of relationships to any contacts, or is it just for the site managers? Unfortunately, it's just for the site managers. Business development, so the question from Barb about the business development. The business development type allows to create groupings for marketing. For an example, gold could get golf games, silver could get donuts. So you're grouping your customers so that you have the ability of being then defining them in different groups. Are there any other questions that I can help with today?
Can you show how to really set up that business development type and use it? So let's say we're doing like a CE class to a certain group, or let's say we're doing like a Christmas marketing or a movie night for a certain group. How do we set up the different business development types, and how do we relate it?
Okay.
Relationships.
So what I'll do for you, Priya, and for the rest of the group as well, if anybody's interested, I'll create an email and send it out to everybody with those instructions, if that's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions for today?
Patty, sorry, one more question. So if we had already set up all these as existing ones where the site manager's information is already in, but they've been set up as a property management, you know, under like the office, the contact, and like in one of those 3 different ones, can we go back and change them to site managers so that it would flow much better? Because, you know, so the property management is set up as the office, and then, you know, there's like the contact, you know, there's those 3 fields, I can't remember at the top of my head. Right. So they're all set up as a property management right now. So instead, go and reassign the contact as site manager, and then start cleaning up, making this relationship work on an existing setup contact.
So what I would recommend is set up your sites and then go to the related relationships and assign the appropriate people accordingly. Because if they're already against the property management company itself, then you'll be able to select them or find them quite quickly here on this tab.
Okay. So I think what we have done is I think we've used the office field and the parent field. So for example, if we do a hospital and different branches of the hospital, each of the branches set up as an office right now, and then they're parented to the main hospital network. So instead,
okay, so maybe what I'll do is I'll call you specifically on your question, and we'll make sure we get how to sort it out, okay?
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
No. So the next question is, can you use this to see the site property management sites, for instance, go backwards? So if I log into a property management contact and see the related sites, no. So unfortunately, this site is going to have the property management company. The property management company itself is not going to, you will not be able to see the related sites.
reporting, Patty? Does it show how much work you've done for a particular site? Can we pull a report?
Yep, there is. There's a couple of property management reports that are available for parent and related. So you'll be able to find out exactly how much has been done with each. Now, unfortunately, I don't believe that I have any invoicing associated with mine. Any other questions that I can help with? All right. Thank you very much for joining us today for the Lunch and Learn. And I will email the group in regards to the setup of the business development. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.